engage this rabbit. What's happening, dude?
Hiya, folks. Pisspot the Rabbit here with Napolean Murphy Brock from Project Object and of the Zappa band. How you doing, man?
What's up, dude? You're 5.
Oh, well, yeah. That's my dead Bob Dole hand.
Oh, really?
Yeah, usually I have a pencil clutched in it.
We need to hit it twice then.
Yeah. I have no feeling in that hand.
Really?
Usually I'm a smoking rabbit, but now in New York State you can't smoke nowhere.
Really?
Nowhere.
Oh, shucks.
So, you know, if I'm a little twitchy, you know.
Well, yeah, I understand. You know, withdrawals. Those things happen, you know.
So,
but don't worry about it. You'll feel better later. You'll be able to exercise. You'll be able to eat, you know, raw vegetables and stuff like that, and actually taste them. Can you imagine that? You being a rabbit, eating raw vegetables, and being able to taste them.
I'm not a big fan of raw vegetables. But I mean, you know what I'm saying?
But you got to understand. Listen.
I don't like to play up to that stereotype of greens and carrots and all that stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Maybe it will help this Bob Dole hand if you start eating some carrots and broccoli and stuff, raw stuff.
Well, what I usually do is I go to the puppet clinic once a year and they take my lungs out and scrub them right out, you know, real good.
Really?
Yeah.
You recover from that?
Oh, sure. I'm a puppet, for Christ's sakes, you know. I'm really a guy with an arm up my ass, you know.
What was I thinking?
So, you know.
I mean, so what was I thinking?
I mean, we could... Hey, listen, so, wait, this is an interview, so I should be asking questions like, so how did you get here? How did you actually get recruited by Frank Zappa?
Oh, I was going to say through my mother, but you finished the statement. That's really how I got here.
Really? From your mother?
Well, yeah. How did you come?
Well, you mean from the base level, yeah.
You didn't drop
I think we all know how we got
here. You're
here.
going to have a limp arm. I'm only serious. Go on, continue.
How did you get picked up by that Zappa guy? How did he find you?
Well, Frank had a very unique talent, along with his genius. One of his unique talents was being able to go out and find other people who had, you know, multiple talents, and he would recruit them to come and help him have his music surface.
But you know what I'm saying? You can find lots of really talented musicians, but how do you find the ones that want to play the unspeakably weird stuff? You know what I'm saying?
Well, normally they're already playing something that's weird.
That's true.
Or doing something that's weird. That's what really attracts him to them.
Now, I heard he had a big sort of, I don't know if you were there on the last tour, there was some sort of meltdown, musician meltdown. Was there lots of musician meltdown on the road and stuff like that?
Not when I was there. It was strictly business. We were taking care of business, and at the same time we were, you know, making history. And so there was no time for meltdown.
There weren't anybody like breaking their fingers trying to play these solos that they were handed, and you know, their brain just collapsing from the sheer number of notes that they would have to play.
No, with the ensembles that I was involved in, we were all professional musicians, and we were there knowing that we were making history, and we were there trying to make sure that the history turned out the way we wanted it to turn out. I.e., here I am today,
talking with a smoking rabbit.
Talking to a rabbit that doesn't smoke anymore. God bless that.
I don't smoke anymore inside. Once I'm out of here, man.
Really?
Oh, I'm cooking it down. You know what I'm saying?
Oh well, yeah, well, good luck. I hope those lungs, you know, continue to be scrubbable.
Oh, sure. We'll send you some video of the whole procedure. It's quite entertaining and educational.
Well, anyway, I was playing with one of the groups I put together in Honolulu, Hawaii. And Frank's road manager, I guess Frank was there after a tour of Australia doing some R&R. And his road manager went out on the town hoping to get lucky, I'm assuming, you know. In Hawaii, that's where you hope to get lucky.
Right, right.
They have some beautiful wahinis over there, you know.
Wahinis.
Wahinis, yes, wahinis. And
I want to say that word again.
Yeah,
wahini. Yeah, I like that.
So, hey, listen, you say it well.
And we'll be printing that on the book.
They've got some wahinis over there that look like you know.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, I get around too, you know, I'm a rabbit, so, you know, it's part of life. We gotta chew and we gotta reproduce, so.
I just can't understand you not eating vegetables. But anyway, his road manager saw a line of people outside of this nightclub on a Wednesday night, and it made him curious why these people would be lined up to see a band that he'd never heard of since he was in the music business. And the name of the band was Communication Plus. And he says, well, I might as well get in line and find out what the big to-do is all about. And when he came inside, he saw my band, which was a 6-piece band, and we had the people smiling, dancing and having a good time on a Wednesday night, and he couldn't understand why until he looked at the stage and he saw that we were entertaining them and actually having fun ourselves, and which made the people want to have fun and want to come and watch us and want to come and dance, because I had what you call a dance band. But we played multiple types of music. We played jazz, we played dance, but most of it was dance music. But we even played some classical music. We would open up the show with Tortoise Generopodies by Eric Satie, and then we would close the show with something like Maiden Voyage by Herbie Hancock.
Classic.
Or we'd open up with Theme from the Odd Couple, with two flutes, and at the end of the show, like I said, we'd close with something else like Stolen Moments by Oliver Nelson or something like that. And that's kind of rare for a dance band to be playing those type of selections. But at the same time, like I said, if you play what the people want so they can dance, they will accept other things that you play too.
Oh, sure, they'll take country music in the middle of whatever if it's making them dance.
Absolutely.
If they're already dancing, I've noticed that.
Absolutely. And fortunately, I was on stage smiling and dancing around and shaking my booty, and so the girls really like that.
Yes, you tend to do that.
Well,
I wanted to pick up some of those moves, especially that riding the horse move.
Riding the horse? Oh yeah, that's one of my favorites. Well, you see, the horse is only this big.
Right.
That's why I call him Tiny Little.
Right.
Yeah, so, and I can put, and it's kind of difficult, putting a blanket and a saddle on a horse only this big.
Well,
but they don't make saddles that size.
It's
As
a
you
bit of
probably
acting.
know, I'm sure you have problems getting clothes to fit you, at the department store.
I don't wear clothes. I don't even bother anymore,
We don't go into that.
But,
anyway,
it's accepted with
we don't want to get into that. But anyway.
Well, it's a bit of acting, to convince somebody that you're riding a tiny horse when, there's really no precedent, to method act riding a tiny horse.
Well, if you're going to grow
going out and finding Shetlands,
But if you're going to be growing dental flaws in Montana,
right,
you need a horse about
You might as well have a small horse.
And why not name him Tiny Little? Well, anyway, these girls used to come and watch me do that because this is what they thought was beautiful.
This is what I like to punch about the girls.
They get excited, man, you know, when you start shaking your booty.
Oh, yeah.
Because then they know, this is what it's all about, So anyway, he watched us play for a while, and then he went back to the hotel and told Frank and his wife, "Wake up, I just found your new lead vocalist." And Frank said, "Oh, really?" He says, "Yeah." And so he got up and got dressed and came down and stood in line with everyone else, and finally got into the club, and he had to sit kind of way in the back. But he sat there and listened to 2 sets, and then he sent Marty Perellis, who was his road manager, up to have me come back to his table. Well, Marty Perellis says, "Hi, my name is Marty Perellis. What's your name?" I said, "Hi, my name is Napoleon Murphy Brock." And he says, "Well, I have someone back here who wants to meet you." And I says, "Well, who is it? Because I only have 15 minutes. And as you can see, all these beautiful
ladies
here.
Right.
I'd like to go down here
the
and
trump card.
Try to put my 2 cents in there to maybe get
Priorities,
lucky myself.
Right.
In Hawaii, God, there's so many beautiful ladies. What's the chance of you getting lucky? If you're shaking your booty and you're a performer, hey, your chances, the level it just keeps going higher. It just goes higher and higher.
It's high, yes.
So I said, "So what is it that he wants?" He says, "Well, it's Frank Zappa." I said, "Okay, who's Frank Zappa?" And he says, "You don't know who Frank Zappa is?" I says, "No." "Does he play music?" And he says, "Well, yeah." I says, "Well, he doesn't play jazz, because I know everyone who plays jazz. He doesn't play top 40, because I play top 40, and I know everyone who plays top 40. I says, "I've never heard a country singer named Frank Zappa, so what does he play?" He says, "Well, he plays his own original music." I says, "Okay, fine. Well, what does he want?" And he says, "Well, there he is back there." And I looked in the rear of the club, and I saw this guy, and I says, "Wait a minute. Isn't this a guy, doesn't he have his picture on a poster in a music store, in record stores, sitting on a toilet flipping the bird?" He says, "Yeah." I said, "Well, what does he want? What does he want with me?" He says, "Well, he wants to talk to you." I says, he says, "Listen, it might be worth your while." I said, "Oh, well, okay, I'll go and talk to him, but I only have 15 minutes, so." I went back and he introduced me to Frank, and he says, "That's really your name? That's really your name, Napoleon Murphy Brock?" I said, "Yeah."